Welcome back to your go-to solo lawn care business podcast. My name's Aaron. Thanks for tuning in. Today I have a message, or rather some helpful things to think about for the young guys in the audience. I'm talking ages 10 to 16. All right? This is a big deal. Guys, I'm at home today. I'm not driving right now. I will be driving later today. A lot of these videos, I tend to do them when I'm out driving for Walmart Spark. But today, I decided to be at home because it's raining this morning, and I didn't want to be driving and podcasting while it's raining. Just didn't sound like a good idea to me. So I'm here today at home in the office doing this podcast for you. So guys, I had a great Facebook conversation with a young man. His name is Isaac Bittinger. All right. Hello, Isaac. Thanks for tuning in. If you're listening, he didn't know about the podcast, and that's fine. I don't care. Not everybody needs to know about the podcast, but he had some questions he posted in a group. I think it was like a teenage lawn care business owners group or something like that. And I don't even know how I got in that group, but he posted a question in there wondering what he should charge for a certain lawn. And I told him, well, look, it doesn't really matter what anyone else is charging. You got to know what you need to charge. And that was that opened a whole can of worms for Isaac, because he's been mowing lawns for a while now, for maybe a year or two, I think. I think they mowed last year. He and his brother mowed last year. And they made enough money to buy a larger piece of equipment, which was awesome. Way to go. But Isaac wasn't really running his business like a business. He was running a business, making money, right? He was out mowing lawns and bringing that money in. But he and his brother really weren't paying themselves anything. They were just dumping it all back into the business, it's not necessarily a bad thing. If you're young and you can do that, that's great. You can do that. That's fine. It's your business. You can do it however you want. But I told Isaac that I would rather see him and his brother pay themselves a good wage for being out there and doing work. And then on top of that, making profit for the business. That's typically how you want to think about business. So a lot of you young guys out there, you're just out, you're mowing lawns, you're enjoying it because you're getting paid money, but you're not really thinking about all of the back end stuff of your business, and that you really need to track every single thing that you spend out of your business, and that you need to pay yourself. Like that, all that money that's coming to you isn't all yours. Because when you're actually running a business, if you register it with the state, you need to pay taxes. And even if you're not registered with the state, you can earn that money on the side. But if somebody reports you, then you could get in some trouble with taxes. Now, most of the time, people are not going to report a kid for mowing lawns. However, if you're using big equipment and you're mowing lawns and then you start breaking windows, you start running over downspouts, things like that, that could become an issue for you if you're not running your business like a business. And so there's a bunch of stuff that we could talk about in this episode, but we're going to keep it concise. We're going to talk about 6 things, okay? We're just going to talk about 6 different things that you should think about as a young lawn care business owner. Because that's what you are. You're a business owner. No matter if you're just doing it on the side just to make extra money, or if you're like you want to take this and run as far as you can with it, you have to treat it like a business because you're making an income. So yes, there is something, where you could get paid under the table. And for most kids, between the kids and the state, that's fine. Like the state just kind of looks the other way, and good, right? Good. They don't need your tax money, okay? But there are some things, if you want to take this business and run with it into the future and not just do it for 1 or 2 years, there are some things you need to start doing now so that you can be prepared for when you get farther down the road. Okay? So let's talk about this a little bit. Number one, start cheap. Now, what do I mean by start cheap? That sounds bad, right? No, what I'm talking about is start with the equipment you have. Okay? If you're looking to get into business, if you're young and you're looking to start a business, maybe you don't have one going yet. Maybe you're thinking about starting one this year. Start cheap. Use your parents' equipment. Use what you have at your disposal. Now, your parents might want to require you to rent the equipment from them at a very small fee. I would encourage that because that's part of business. You need to learn how to pay that stuff out because at some point, if you're going to take this business and run with it, you're going to have equipment payments most likely at some point in your life. You should learn to deal with that on a small scale with mom and dad before you start and go get a loan on a piece of equipment where the bank, they don't care. They don't care about you. You're a number to them. That means they're going to get their money one way or another. They're not going to say, oh, well, you can skip this month if you didn't make money or you were sick or whatever. No, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. They are going to be hard-nosed. They are going to come after you. And that's what the thing is. Right? That's business. That's business. It's not personal. It's not personal. It's just business. So, as we keep going down the list here, use the stuff you have. That's a push mower usually. Maybe you have a riding mower like a tractor mower. Use that. Use the biggest piece of equipment you have at your disposal that your family will let you use. Okay? If you have a curved shaft trimmer, use that. Start cheap, right? Get in cheap. Earn money, maybe pay rent for that to your family, and over time, save money to buy your own equipment, right? Maybe a straight shaft trimmer that's more commercial grade instead of homeowner grade. Maybe save up and get a residential zero turn or a what they call prosumer grade zero turn, where it can be either a consumer or a business zero turn. They're made a little bit tougher, right? Not as many plastic parts. They still have a lot of plastic parts, but you're getting to where you want to be with that piece of equipment, right? That's how I started. I was in my 30s. You can do it. It's very feasible to do it. Get started with that cheap piece of equipment. Start cheap. There are guys out here on Facebook and stuff that will encourage you to go out and have your parents co-sign on a loan. I would never do that. I would never, as a parent, I'm not going to co-sign on a loan unless it's a car, and even then, I would really be hesitant. Like maybe I would put the car in my name and then allow my kid to drive it, but I'm not going to co-sign for that. I would rather have my kid pay cash for the vehicle, right? That's how I bought my first car. I bought it in cash because I worked my butt off, and then I crashed that car, so then I bought a second car in cash, and you just keep building up. Now, I have bought many vehicles that had a loan on them. In fact, I have a really nice 2020 Ram 2500 in my driveway, and it's all paid for. I did not pay cash for that, but it was a big purchase, and it was the biggest purchase I've made to date other than a home, which I've done with my wife. And that is what it is. You're paying on that over 30 years. That's an acceptable thing. But a vehicle, it's a little bit more scary because you're running down the road with it. Your house is staying put. Your vehicle's running down the road. There's idiots out there on the road. They can crash into you. It's a big risk. So you have to be smart when you're spending your money or other people's money. You got to be smart. So just start small. Start cheap, right? Just use what you have and build up from there. When I started my business as an adult, I started with a push mower, a cheap push mower. I mean, this thing was $100 at a place we have here called Menards. And I started with a curved shaft trimmer that I had for my own property, and I didn't have a blower, I had a broom. That's how I started. In the back of a Dodge Durango, not a Durango. Was it a Durango? I think it was a Durango. A little Dodge truck. I think it was something like that. But anyway, and it got the job done. It got the job done. And then from there, I moved up to a Toro Time Master, which is a 30-inch push mower, and that changed my world because I was able to do more lawns, and I was making more money, which meant I could save money so I could eventually buy a residential zero turn and a couple of pieces of stick equipment and some blowers and things like that. You just got to build up slowly, right? And when you get that riding mower or whatever, unless you're just staying in your neighborhood, maybe you live in a subdivision or whatever, which is awesome if you do that. All you would need is to buy a trailer, unless your parents have one, a trailer for that mower, and then you can put your push mower in the back, you can put your blower and your trimmer in the back, and you can ride around the neighborhood. My son does that. I have a 15-year-old son. He wants to, well, he's 16 now. He wants to kind of earn his own money. So he takes my residential zero turn. He bought a trailer for it out of the money that he already had, and he runs that a half mile up the road. And we don't live in a subdivision, so he runs a half mile up the road to mow someone's lawn. That's great. I encourage him to do that. We live about a mile out of town here, so he could go the other way and mow lawns there too. It just depends, right? It depends on where you're at. You might need a trailer for that riding mower. But anyway, I digress. Let's keep moving on here. We got to keep going. We're getting long here already, and we're just at number 1. Number 2. Change your mindset. Some of this stuff is going to be difficult for you as a teenager. Okay, it's going to be difficult. Teenagers, I know for myself, I wanted to play video games, I wanted to watch basketball, I wanted to play basketball. That's all I wanted to do. Of course, I did work as well. I worked full time during the summer and made a lot of money that way. But what I really wanted to do was hang out with my friends and play basketball. Video games weren't really so much of a thing back in my day, but I wanted to play basketball and just have fun. You're going to have to change your mindset as a teenager. You're not going to be able to do all the fun things that some of your friends are doing if you're running a business. Maybe you're only running 10 lawns, right? 10 lawns is a lot if you're in school. Like this time of year, I talked to Isaac. He wants 10 lawns. I don't know how many he has right now. Maybe he's running around 10, but he wants about 10 lawns. That's what he can do while he's still in school. And then in the summer, he can maintain those 10 lawns, and that would be okay, and he could still have a life, right? And still make pretty good money. But if you're in school, that's still pushing it. You get out of school at 3 o'clock. If you're riding the bus home, most school districts don't bus anymore, but if you're riding the bus home, it could take you an hour. I know my cousin across the road here, her kid rides the bus an hour and a half. For an hour and a half to get home. He doesn't get home till 4:30. That's a big deal. If you're mowing 10 lawns in a week, you got to do 2 a night, unless you're doing a couple on the weekend or all of them on the weekend, which I would not recommend. But you got to do homework too. So it's going to take a lot of work. You're going to have to change your mindset. You're going to have to be in this business mindset of, I've got to get the work done. And that's going to be difficult if you don't love the work you're doing. So you got to love the work you're doing. You got to enjoy helping people, right? It's not about the lawn necessarily. It's about helping the people. Yes, you want the money, and that's great, but you got to have something more than the money, because that's going to fade. Eventually, that money, no matter how much you're getting paid, isn't going to be worth it if you don't want to do the work. So you got to change your mindset. You got to start thinking like a business owner. You got to start thinking strategically. And that's what Isaac was starting to do. He was starting to think strategically. He wanted to help with pricing on this lawn. And a lot of guys chimed in. They were all kind of in this ballpark. But what I tried to do is get Isaac to think about what he needs to charge for that lawn, what he needs to do, what he needs to charge for that, and then add profit on top of it, right? Figure out how much it costs you to mow that lawn, and then charge that plus however much profit you want to make. It could be 100% profit. It's your business. You can do whatever you want with it. But you have to know what that lawn is going to cost you. All right, so you got to change that mindset. You got to start thinking like a business owner. You got to start thinking in a different way than the school is going to teach you. Your school is not going to teach you how to think like a business owner. It's not. It's just not. And actually, that's number 6. That's part of number 6, but we'll get there eventually. Number 3, decide if you are running a business or just earning fun money. There's a difference, okay? If you just want to earn money to buy a dirt bike, or if you just want to earn money to buy a go-kart, that was a big thing back in my day, was I wanted a go-kart. Oh, man, I wanted a go-kart. I never did get one. Now I've got a car. But when I started my business, I wanted a camper. And so that's why I started. I just wanted to earn extra money to buy a camper, right? But I did start my business right. I got an LLC and things like that. I just wanted to be protected, right? And I needed to think about that because I was planning to earn enough money that I'm going to have to pay taxes. So I had to change my mindset. And once I earned enough money for that camper, then it was like, ooh, what else can I do here? And I changed, after that year, I changed my mindset from I'm earning money to buy a camper to I'm earning money to live so I can get out of my job and start doing this full time. That's where the mindset shift comes. So if you're wanting to run a business, maybe you've got 4 years left of school and you can't just jump into that business. Well, yes, you can. I know somebody here was running a $500,000 lawn care business while he was still in high school. He hired people. He started before he could drive. He hired people to drive him around. Adults. He hired adults in his business to do the work while he was in school. The possibilities of this lawn care business are limitless, guys. Don't limit yourself to just thinking like I have to do all the work. You don't. You can hire people that are older than you. That's part of shifting your mindset. When you're a business owner, you can do things differently. You can be earning a lot of money while you're sitting there at your desk at school. Now, it's a lot of work. I will not lie to you. It's a lot of work to run a business, but it can be done. It can be done. All right? What was that? Number 3. Yeah. Are you running a business or just earning fun money? Either one is great. Okay? Either one is great. Remember, guys, I'm talking to the young people. I want to reiterate this. I'm talking to the young guys and gals out there that are, ages 10 to 16, okay? I'm not talking to adults here, all right? These are kids that are in school, right? That's what this episode is about. I know a lot of kids don't listen to podcasts. They watch YouTube. I get that. That's why this is on YouTube, okay? So watch it on YouTube. Subscribe. But if you're just earning fun money, that's great. But decide what you're going to do. Maybe you do the first year and it's just for fun money. Great. Then the next year, that question comes up in your head. Like, am I just doing this for fun or do I want to make some serious money? Because you can in the lawn care business. You can make serious cash. All right? And I told Isaac when I was messaging him back and forth, I said, man, I want to see you and your brother have fat bank accounts. That's what I would love to see you guys do. And he agreed with me. He's like, yeah, I want to see a fat bank account. He's 14 years old. How many video games could you buy with a fat bank account? So you just have to decide what you want to do and then pursue it. You've got to pursue it, right? It's not just going to happen. You got to pursue it. You got to push for it. All right, number 4, run your lawn care business like a business. Whether you're just doing it for fun money or if you really want that business, you should run it like a business. What do I mean by that? I mean, you need to have the back office things set up, like QuickBooks, or I use Wave Apps. Wave Apps is free. It's online. It's an accounting software. It helps you. You save all your receipts. You save them in your wallet or whatever when you buy something like fuel or have maintenance on a piece of equipment or whatever, whether you're buying snacks at the gas station, whatever it is, you save those receipts and you put them in that software. And when you get a payment from one of your lawn care customers, you put that in there as income. And that tracks all of your incoming profit or incoming money and all of your outgoing money, right? And this is where that question of how much does it cost you to mow a lawn? All those expenses, that's called overhead. And you need to know what that is so that you can factor that into your price of your lawns. So that's why it's so helpful to track that. You want to know what that is so that you can price better and have more confidence when you price your lawns. All right? Now, run it like a business. So does that mean you need an LLC? No, but you might need a DBA. And this is all stuff you can Google. All right? So you need to Google the difference between a DBA, an LLC, a sole proprietorship, and that's the basic 3, right? Those are the ones you really need to know. You're probably going to start off either as a DBA or as a sole proprietor. Okay? Just look in your state, Google it, look in your state, and find out what you have to do. Because legally, if you're making an income over a certain amount of money, you have to pay taxes on that money. So legally, you should be running your business like a business. Okay? That also means tracking your stuff. That also means maybe you need a software like EarthaPro, where it's a CRM where you can track your customers, you can contact your customers, you can bill them through the software, you can take credit card payments, all that stuff. And then on top of all of that, you want to have a personal bank account and you want to have a business bank account. This is very important. You want to keep your business money separate from your personal money. Okay? Really, it's called finances. Okay? You want to keep your business finances separate from your personal finances. Why? Because your business is business, your personal is personal, and you get taxed differently on those things, right? In a business, when you buy something, you can write that off. That's called a tax write-off. You can write that off and you get a portion of that tax money back at the end of the year. So you have to run your business like a business if you're going to go into this full time, full hog, as we say. All right? Number 5, and this is a big one. Okay, this is a big one, and some of you probably have already experienced this. Do not let anyone look down on you because you're young. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're young. It doesn't matter if you're 10. It doesn't matter if you're 16. It does not matter. Do not let prospective customers, especially, look down on you because you're young. Prove to them that you're a professional and that you do good work, and that you do what you say you're going to do. It is vitally important. There are so many people out there. I've seen it in my community group on Facebook. People will post out there, I'm looking for a kid to do such and such at my house. Why are they looking for a kid? They're specifically looking for a kid because they think they can cheap out and pay that kid less money because they think he's less valuable. It's not the case when you're in business. Your business is your business, and you have business expenses. Don't let anyone look down on you because you are young. Again, looking back at my friend Nathan Fox, okay, he owns a large landscaping company, multi-million-dollar landscaping company today. But he started back when he was 14, 15, 16 years old, and he was doing really well then. And he did not allow anyone to look down on him because he was young. He proved to those customers that he was worth every single penny. Prove to your customers that you're worth every single penny that you're charging them. But you got to prove it. You got to earn it, right? You can't. They're not just going to place it in your lap, right? But don't allow them. Don't allow them to think of you as less than, because you're not, right? When my son went up the road to estimate that lawn, I reminded him, don't lowball it just because you're 15 years old. You charge that thing like you're 35, because that is what the work is worth, right? It doesn't matter how old you are. It's what the work is worth, right? And you've got to make sure that you're like holding firm, like, I'm not going to change my prices just because you think that I'm too expensive because I'm 14 years old. I might be too expensive for you, but I'm not too expensive for other people. You've got to hold fast to your prices and don't let anyone look down on you. You are capable of so much at your young age, and you need to be paid appropriately for that work, right? It could be $50 an hour. If you're doing the work at a high level, you deserve to be paid $50 an hour for that work. Plain and simple. I don't care how old you are. You could be 90 years old. If you're the only guy that knows how to turn a bolt in an engine to make it run smoother, if you're the only one that knows how to do that, you could charge $300 an hour. Easy. Why? Because you're the one that knows how to turn the bolt and what bolt to turn. Nobody else knows. That's worth a lot of money. Right now, I get it. We're talking about lawn care here. Anybody can mow a lawn. Not everybody is good at mowing a lawn. Okay? It's true. It's true. I've seen a lot of people that cannot mow grass to save their lives, but they can mow grass, right? Because it's just not going to look good. They can mow it and it'll cut the grass, but they'll miss clumps. It'll just look horrible. We've all seen it. You're a professional, right? You're asking people to pay you money for this service because you're a professional. And of course, you're going to learn. You're going to learn every day. I learn every day. You're still a professional, and you're going to do a professional job. That's why you're worth the money that you are. Don't let anyone look down on you because you're young. And the last thing, number 6, this is a big one, and this is difficult, right? This is probably the most difficult one. Educate yourself. Your school is not going to teach you any business skills. You have to educate yourself. You're going to have to go out there and you are going to have to educate yourself. You're going to have to read books. You're going to have to listen to podcasts. You're going to have to watch YouTube videos. You're going to have to educate yourself because no one else is going to do it for you. How many business owners do you know in your life? Probably not many. And if you do know any, they're not really willing to talk. So you're going to have to educate yourself. A great author with simple books that I like is Mike Michalowicz. You can look him up online. Just type in Mike Motorbike. That's what he goes by because he knows no one can spell his name. All right, so MikeMotorbike.com. All his books are there. You can find them on Amazon as well. Profit First is a great book. The Pumpkin Plan is another great book. These are easy reads, okay? They're easy reads. I get it. If you're in the public school system, reading is not going to be your strong suit. I get it. You've got to do the work. You can get books on Audible. Sign up for Audible. Get an Audible subscription and listen to books. That's what I do when I'm out working. That's what a lot of lawn care people do when they're out working. We're not listening to music. We're learning. We're going to Lawn Care University is what I call it. We are learning. We're absorbing all this information because we all want to be better. And if you want to run a business, maybe you're just like, well, I'm not really running a business right now. This is kind of side money, but I want to, in the future, build my business. Well, let me tell you, you can build it right now. You can. Another great one is Mike Andes. Mike Andes has a bunch of books out too. You could listen to his books or read his books. There's so much information out there, but it's in book form. You're going to need to educate yourself. Read widely in the business section, okay? Because it is vitally important that you take your business seriously and you learn how to run a proper business. And that's the best way to do it, guys. I'm sorry. It is. I know you hate school. This is different than school. This is something you want to learn. You want to learn and you want to be better at it. And if you want to be better at it, you're going to focus on it. And that means listening to books, reading books, listening to podcasts, all this stuff. You got to do it. I know it's hard, but it will change your life. It will change your mindset. It will change the way you see the world. And you're going to be sitting in school, and you need to stay in school, by the way. If your business takes off, do not quit school. Stay in school and graduate, okay? That's a huge thing. Stay in school. A lot of people are out here, they've started their business in high school and it took off, and they didn't quit school, thankfully. But some of them have, and they might regret it later. Stay in school. Finish that education. But you got to understand, you're gonna be sitting in school and you're gonna be like, man, I'm not learning anything here. I learn way more on my own. And you probably are. You're gonna learn things by reading books that you enjoy about business and listening to podcasts that you're never gonna learn in school. You won't even learn them in college. I have an associate's degree in business, right? I didn't learn hardly anything about business in college. I didn't. It was a waste of money and time because I could have done without that, right? So you don't need a business degree. You just got to go and find the information in books. Your local library, Audible, things like that, YouTube, all that stuff. It's all available to you. You just got to find it. All right? So that's it for this episode, guys. I hope this was helpful to you young guys. And if you older guys are watching this, comment in the comments below. Leave some more information for these young guys to look at. Give some encouragement to these young guys that are out here grinding away. They're trying to build their business. They're trying to make money. Encourage them. Don't discourage them by saying, man, you should just get out. You don't even know what you're doing. No. You didn't know what you were doing when you started either. Don't be that guy. So comment down below. Leave a comment below. Make sure you're talking to these young people and encourage them to keep going. And if you're a young person and you're watching this, comment down below. Let me know when you started your business, when you started mowing lawns, and let me know what your goal is for your lawn business. Because that's what it is. It is a business. Whether you're doing it for fun money or running a business, it's a business. Let me know what you're doing, how many lawns you got. I want to hear all that stuff. I love that. So let me know in the comments below if you're watching on YouTube. Make sure that you leave a rating and review on the podcast episode here. And guys, that's it. Thanks for listening to the Mowing in the Dark Lawn Care podcast. I will see you in the next episode.